everyone. Welcome to another lecture on reasoning ability and problem solving. In today's lecture, we will discuss some exercises question for clock and calendar. So basically, I told you there are 4 types of questions each that can be formed in clock and calendar. This we discussed in previous lectures. So in today's lecture, we will discuss all the types of questions that you can get in clock in detail. Now, there are basic concepts from clock that we have discussed before, which is useful for solving question in clocks, correct? So, in today's lecture, let us start by revising those concepts. Now, first concept is the time. A day moves from midnight to noon back to midnight. This we discussed, correct? Midnight a day starts from 12 a.m. Then you get 12 p.m. And then you get 11:59 p.m. And then you get the time as 12 a.m. So new day starts, correct? Midnight, you cannot say it is midnight because midnight is 12 a.m. But this is basically night. At night, 11:59 p.m. is the time at which your day ends. And from 12 a.m. onwards, you get a new time. I'm not considering seconds. Now, what do you mean by AM and PM? I told you the full forms. AM means ante-meridiem. And PMs means post-meridiem. Okay. Then I told you there are 2 types of clocks, digital clock and analog clocks. We basically deal with analog clocks. What are analog clocks? Basically, when time is displayed like this in a circle, your normal wall clock, that is your analog clock. And digital clock means that your time is displayed in a numerical form, something like this, okay, or something like this. This is your numerical clock or digital clock. Okay, so these were the concepts. Then we discussed one more thing, which was a very important formula. So formula was 11/2 into minutes equals to 30 into hour plus minus theta. So what does theta signifies? It is the angle between the minute and the hour hand. And why plus and minus? Because we have to ignore the value of theta, whether it is plus or minus, because angle cannot be negative. So this formula was used to solve maximum questions on clocks, correct? And then we also discussed 2 concepts. First was that in a day, how many times does a minute and hour hand forms 180 degree or a straight line? There were only 2 times. The first time was 6 a.m. and the other time was 6 p.m. This we discussed. And overlapping of hands. So in a day, how many times a clock hands overlap? 2 times are very prominent. 12 a.m. the clock hands will overlap and 12 p.m. Apart from this, every hour a clock hands overlap 2 times. So every hour 2 times. Okay, sorry, every hour 1 time. Every hour 1 time. Okay, and how many hours there are there? So basically there are 12 into 2 hours, that is 24. Correct? So a clock will start from 12, complete 12, that we will get noon. Then again start from 12 and complete till 11:59 again. So 2 rotations. So 12 into 2, that is 24. But we have already taken this into consideration. So to avoid repetition, a clock hands overlap 22 times in a day. These were your basic concepts that we discussed in the previous questions. And we also discussed how many types of questions you can get in clock. Type 1 was finding the angle between clock hands. So again, simple formula of 11/2 into m equals to 30 into hour plus minus theta. Simple formula. time duration, clock hands overlapping, and time difference. Now, one more concept was there. For example, if a flight is taking from A to B and B is 2 hours ahead, okay, or 2 hours behind, let's say. B's time is 2 hours behind than A. So let's say a journey starts from 1 p.m. and over here at B it lands at 3 p.m. So you will say that the duration of the flight is 2 hours, but this is wrong. Because if you look over here, this is 2 hours behind. That means if 3 p.m. is over here it will be 5 p.m. Correct? Because this is 2 hours behind. So the duration of the journey will be 4 hours and not 2 hours. Duration of journey will be equals to 4 hours and not 2 hours. So this was another concept that we discussed. So based on these concepts, today we will discuss all the types of questions that you can get in clock. Starting with type number 1, finding the angle between clock hands. Question 1 is, what is the angle between the hour and the minute hands of a clock at 9:20? So in these type of questions, whether it is AM or whether it is PM, that is not relevant. Okay, so what was the basic formula? 11 by 2 m equals to 30 h plus minus theta. This was the basic formula. So now let us put at m we will have 20. So 11 by 2 into 20 equals to 30 into h will be 9 plus minus theta. So this will be 10. 11 into 10 will be 110 and 9 into 30 will be 270 plus minus theta. Now, what will be the value of theta? Theta will be 110 minus 270, correct? But theta cannot be negative, so I can write it 270 minus 110. So, what will be the value of theta? It will be 160 degrees. So, the angle between the hour and the minute hand will be option number 2, 160 degrees. Here is the solution. Okay, so this formula we used. Why is this placed in mod? These are the mod signs. This you have studied in maths. Mod, because value cannot be negative. Okay, so 160 degree will be interpreted as 160 degree. If in the question, in your examination, you get an option like one option is 160 and the other option is minus 160, always choose option number 1 because this will be incorrect. Okay. Now let us look at question number 2. What is the angle between the hour and minute hands of a clock at 6:45? Again, AM and PM not being relevant. So 6:45, what is the formula? 11 by 2 m equals to 30 into h plus minus theta. This is the formula, correct? So minute hands we have 45. So 11 by 2 into 45 equals to 30 into h, which is 6 plus minus theta. Correct? Now 245, this will be 22.5. Correct? So I told you a shortcut that whenever you have to multiply a number by 11, basically just keep decimal out of the question right now. This will be 225 into 11. So first we write this number, then we add these two numbers. So 5 plus 2, 7. Then we add these two numbers. 2 plus 2 will be 4. And then we'll write 2. And the decimal was after 1. So the decimal would be after 1. So on multiplying 22.5 into 11, I'll get 247.5. Correct? So this will be 247.5 equals to 180 plus minus theta. So theta will be 247.5 minus 180. Correct? I'll get 0.57 and over here I'll get 6. So theta's value will be 67.5 degree. And this is given in option number 1. So option number 1 will be your correct answer to this question. Clear? Now, here is the solution. So again placed in mod because negative will not be considered. Okay? So whenever you have to multiply any number by 11, there is a short trick. Basically, if you have to multiply, let's say I'll take a number ABC into 11. So it will be C. C will be written over here. Then we'll write B plus C. Then we'll write A plus B. And then we'll write A. Simple. So if you have, let's say 1, 2, 3 into 11. it will be C 3, then B plus C, that is 5, then A plus B, that is 3, and then A. 1353 will be your answer. Simple method to multiply anything by 11. Okay? Now, question number 1 of type 2, which is time duration. So, if a train departs from station A at 8:30 am and arrives at station B at 1:45 pm, how long is the train journey in hours and minute? Okay, so I told you one method that we subtract the earlier time from the later time and then we get the answer. Correct? But in the previous lectures, we saw that this method may work for some time and this method may not work for some times also. So now we'll use a different method, that is simply calculating from hour to hour. So from 8:30 am, if we go till 9:30 am, what time it will be? 1 hour. From this, if we go 10:30 am, the time will be 1 hour. 11:30 am, 1 hour. Now 11:30, after this I'll get 12:30 pm, 1 hour. And 12:30 I'll get 1:30 pm, 1 hour. And from 1:30 pm I have to go till 1:45 pm, that is 15 minutes. So this is 1 plus 1 2 plus 1 3 plus 1 4 plus 1 5. So 5 hours and 15 minutes. This will be the duration of the train. So this is given in option number 1. So option number 1 will be your correct answer to this question. Clear? Now, question number 2. Sarah started reading a book at 6:20 pm and finished it at 9:45 pm. How long did it take Sarah to finish the book in hours and minutes? So again, we will use the same method. So from 6:20 pm, if I go to 7:20 pm, how much duration? 1 hour. From 7:20 I go to 8:20 pm, how much duration? 1 hour. From 8:20 I go to 9:20 pm, how much duration? 1 hour. Now from 9:20 pm I have to go to 9:45 pm. So how much I am going? From 20 minutes to 45 minutes I am going. That means I am going 25 minutes forward. So what will be the total duration? 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 25 minutes. That is 1, 2, 3. 3 hours and 25 minutes. This will be the duration. And this is given in option number 1. So option number 1 will be your correct answer. Clear? Now, question 1 of type 3. At what time after 2:45 am do a clock's hour and minute hands form a 180-degree angle? 180-degree angle means a straight line. So this concept we discussed, that a clock forms or a clock hands forms a straight line. Straight line means 180-degree angle at 2 times in a day. And what are the times? That is at 6 am and at 6 pm. So only at these 2 times the clock forms a straight line. So after 2:45 am, what will be the next time? So after 2:45 am, the next time will be 6 am. So answer will be option number 2, 6 am. Clear? Now this is given over here also. Okay? Now, if it is 5:30 pm, when will the hour and minute hands of the clock form a straight line? So after 5:30 pm, what will be the next time? Will it be 6 am or will it be 6 pm? So after 5:30 it will be 6 pm. So option number 6 pm is given in option number 4. So option number 4 will be your correct answer. Okay? You would argue that, ma'am, if I look at the clock at, let's say, 3:45, I can see this will be how much? This will be 9. Correct? At 3:45, I see a straight line. But it is not like that. 3:45 means, if this is 3 and this is 4, 3:45 means that the hand will be somewhere in between 3 and 4. It will not be exactly at 3. That is why at 3:45, anytime 3:45 or 9:15 or any time like that, we cannot consider it to be a straight line, because the hand is slightly moving. Similarly, if it is 9:15, this will be 10, correct? So my R hand will be somewhere in between 9 and 10. It will not be exactly at 9. So this is the reason these times are not considered to be exactly 180 degrees or straight line. Clear? Now, type 4 question 1. A train departs at 8 a.m. and arrives at its destination at 11:45 a.m. What is the duration of the journey? So simple, we will start with 8. Just take care of AM and PM. This can be confusing in your questions. Please pay attention to whether it is AM or whether it is PM. So 8 AM to 9 AM, it will be 1 hour. Correct? From 9 AM till 10 AM, it will be again 1 hour. Correct? And from 10 AM to 11 AM, again 1 hour. Correct? Now, from 11 AM, if it is going to 11:45 AM, that means it is going 45 minutes extra. So it will be 1 plus 1 plus 1, that is 3 hours and 45 minutes. So total duration of the journey is 3 hours and 45 minutes. And 3 hours and 45 minutes is given in option number 4. So option number 4 will be our correct answer. Clear? Question number 2. If it is currently 9:15 PM, what will be the time be in 2 hours and 30 minutes later? Okay, so we'll do a different method now. So from 9:15 PM, basically I have to add 2 hours and 30 minutes. So I'll add 1 hour. So if I add 1 hour, I'll get 10:15 PM. Correct? Now I'll add 1 hour more. So if I add 1 hour, I'll get 11:15 PM. Now I have to add 30 minutes. So if I add 30 minutes into this, I'll get how much? I'll get 11:45 PM. So my correct answer will be 11:45 PM, which is option number 1. So option number 1 will be the correct answer to this question. Let's say if the time was that if currently is 9:15 PM, this is given in the question, and then we have to tell the time after 3 hours, or let's say after 3 hours and 15 minutes. Okay, so after 3 hours and 15 minutes, currently it is 9:15 PM. Then we added 1 hour, we get 10:15 PM. Correct? Then we added 1 hour more, we get 11:15 PM. Now we added 1 hour more, 3 hours, correct? So I'll get 12:15 PM. And then if I add 15 minutes, I'll get 12:30 PM. Is this correct? No. Because after PM, after 11:59 PM, what is the next time? It is 12 AM. So from post meridium, we go to anti-meridium. From 11:59 PM, we go to 12 AM. Similarly, from 11:59 AM in the morning, we go to 12 PM in the noon. So this you have to take into notice. So from here, from 11:15 PM, the next time will be 12:15 AM and not PM. Similarly, it will be 12:30 AM. So if we go 3 hours 15 minutes future, we'll get 12:30 AM. 12:30 AM and not PM. Clear? This much is clear? Done. Here is the solution. So in the question, we had to go how much? 2 hours and 30 minutes. Answer was 11:45 PM, which is given in option number 1. Okay. So these are basically the type of questions that you get in your clock based questions that you get in your competitive exams. So we discussed 4 types. Now in the next chapter we will discuss the calendar type of questions. In calendar we actually discussed a lot of concepts. The very first concept in calendars was the calendar that is being followed today globally is called the Gregorian calendar. It is called the Gregorian calendar. It starts from 0101 0001 and the first day is Monday. So this is the basic concept. This calendar is being followed to answer the question on calendar type of questions. So in the next lecture, we will discuss some basic concepts. We will revise the basic concepts and then we will solve some more question on calendars. So in today's class, we discussed all the questions, types of questions that you can get on clock. One very important formula that we discussed, 11 into 2 minutes equals to 30 into hours plus minus theta. This is the ultimate formula that is being used in most of your clock type of questions. So please remember this. This is very important. Okay, just remember this formula and based on this formula, you can solve so many questions in clocks, most of the questions. Then the concept of AM to PM and PM to AM. This can be confusing. This you have to take care of. This is the tricky part and this you have to take notice. Then again, two concepts of the times that we form straight line. So straight line concept, straight line 2 times 6 AM and 6 PM. Again, important, this you have to take care of. And the overlapping. So overlapping in a day is how many times? It is 22 times. These many information is important and the rest you can solve. So this concludes today's lecture. Thank you.